What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he's, she's, theys, thems, however you identify? I don't really give a fuck. Welcome to the Jake Brown Podcast. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I think I owe everyone a little bit of an apology right off the bat. My last episode, the content was awesome. I, however, did not pick up the issue with the audio and the mic until it was all said and done. So, at some point, I would love to have Ted Honey back on my show with a microphone that can actually pick up his voice. I mean, you can still hear him, but it's just not as good as I wanted it to be. And I only want the best for my listeners, for my subscribers. I only want the best audio, and I did not deliver very good audio. So I apologize. Won't happen again. I mean, it might happen again. I've got a great show for you today. Obviously, I'm talking MotoGP. We just had round 2 of the 2025 season. Argentina. Look, I need to get something off my chest right out of the gate. And I think a lot of this stems from MotoGP Twitter, which is just fucking batshit crazy. I swear to God, some days it's a very interesting group of people. I don't know if I'd call them rational all the time, but for the most part, you know, compared to like NFL fans or NASCAR fans, like MotoGP fans are usually pretty reasonable. Usually. What I do not understand is all the hate, all the anger, all the piss and vinegar. Talk about good timing with the music. I just don't understand people's hatred of Marc Marquez. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that people, one, can kind of disconnect from being a fan, which we all know what fan is short for. Fanatic. And just being an objective observer and enjoying what it is that we are all witnessing, which is arguably the greatest motorcycle racer ever. Like, he just happens to be racing right now. Like, we get to watch this person currently in high def all over the world, racing better than anyone has ever raced. Yet, for some reason, people are just so angry. I don't understand why. It's almost like, it's not almost, we are literally witnessing history right now. But people have such hatred and they're just so negative about what it is that they're seeing. Because for whatever reason, whether they're a fan of a different racer, or maybe it's the manufacturer that they hate, I don't know, maybe they're just miserable people and they hate seeing anyone having any form of success and or being happy. I mean, let's be honest, that's probably a real big part of all this. We are watching something that is so cool. It's so badass And we're lucky because it may not ever happen again. The way that Marc Marquez is dominating MotoGP, and it's not like he hasn't, always dominated MotoGP. Sure, he was injured for a few years, and he wasn't dominating, partly because of the injury, partly because of the bike that tried to kill him multiple times. Yet he was still competitive on that bike. Even in his down years, he's better than just about everyone out there on a completely inferior bike at the time, that Honda, that should have been arrested for attempted murder on anyone who tried to get on that thing. I just wish people could have a little, just show a little appreciation for something that is just so unbelievably cool. I made a list, just kind of off the top of my head. I didn't Google anybody. This is just a list across, I guess, the 4 major sports, maybe 5 major sports in the United States. In my lifetime, and I'm 48 years old, okay? In my lifetime, I have gotten to observe with my own eyes, either on the television or in person, arguably the greatest athletes ever in their respective sports. Now, this is just off the top of my head, all right? I didn't put a whole lot of thought into this. These are just the names that jumped out to me that I've been fortunate enough in my life as a total sports nut. I've been privileged enough to see compete. You may or may not agree with any or all these names, and that's okay. This is all subjective. Make your own fucking list. I don't care. I would love to know your list of the greatest athletes ever in their respective sport that you were alive to witness. Now, obviously, like in baseball, I didn't get to witness Babe Ruth, okay? I didn't get to witness Mickey Mantle or Jackie Robinson. I did not get to witness them. So I leave those people off because this is just more an appreciation of the athletes that I personally got to see. All right, let's begin. In the NBA, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. When I think of who is the greatest basketball player ever that I got to witness, like, that should be your top 4. Order them however you want. Maybe there's one you might sub out for maybe one of these people, but I can't really think of anyone else that we talk about being the greatest ever that we also got to see in real life. Obviously, it's Michael Jordan. Golf. Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus. I got to see both of them. I was alive when they were both playing. I think I was very, 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 very young when Jack Nicklaus was still kind of dominating. But technically I was alive, and he is considered by a lot of people who really know golf to be the greatest ever. But there's also a lot of people who really know golf that consider Tiger Woods to be the best golfer ever. Look, I don't know. Flip a coin. They never competed against each other, I don't think. I mean, Tiger may have been a really, really little kid and maybe played around with him at some point. But as far as competitively on the PGA Tour, they're different eras. They are numbers 1 and 2 in total majors won. And that's essentially the standard that we rate golfers. How many titles you got? How many of the majors have you won? And those are the two best. There's a lot of absolutely great, I mean great golfers that have existed in my lifetime. You could maybe make a case that 1 or 2 of them are the greatest ever, but let's be honest, when we're talking the GOATs of golf, it's Jack and it's Tiger, or it's Tiger and it's Jack. Football. Tom Brady, Jerry Rice, Lawrence Taylor, and I will explain that one, Walter Payton, I mean, take your pick, really. I think some people are maybe going to hear my Lawrence Taylor selection and think, what? There's no way that a linebacker should be in the conversation for the greatest football player ever. I can't think of another defensive player who completely changed the way offenses had to work. He was that much of a disruptor. He was so dominant. You could not block him with one person. He changed the way football is played. He forced teams to scheme different. He forced probably new formations. He was the most dominant defensive player that I have ever seen in my life. Now, I have one more name that I'm just going to put on this list because if I'm talking football, I'm always putting this name on the list. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, but any greatest football player is I'm putting Bo Jackson on there. Bo Jackson is the greatest athlete I've ever seen in my entire life. Fucking fight me. Fight me. Did he have the most rushing attempts? No. The most rushing yards? No. Most touchdowns? No. Did he hit the most home runs in baseball? No. Most stolen bases? No. Was he the freakiest of the fucking freaky athletes? The biggest, the fastest, the strongest, the most powerful, the most agile? Could throw the ball a fucking mile? A jillion miles an hour? Don't quote me on that. I mean, sure, we're not arguing that Bo Jackson is the greatest football player of all time. But on some level, Bo Jackson might be the greatest fucking football player ever. He just had a tragically short career. Very unfortunate, but I'm always putting Bo Jackson in whatever football list I'm making. Tennis! Think of how many unbelievable tennis players came from the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. Like tennis players that people back in like the 80s and 90s were like, no one will ever be this good again. Like there will never be another Bjorn Borg or Yvonne Lendl or Jimmy Connors or McEnroe. Never happen. Okay, well, Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi said, hold my beer. Steffi Graf? Are you shitting me? Arguably the greatest women's tennis player ever. If it wasn't for Serena Williams. Oh, God, I'm going to get hate for that one. I'm getting hate for that one. Not to mention her sister Venus. All in my life, I got to see them play. Roger Federer? Rafael Nadal? How about Novak Djokovic? However you pronounce it. Who's won more majors than anybody ever in tennis. Like, we got to see these goats of tennis competing, and not just competing amongst each other, directly competing against each other. Especially this most recent group of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. Like, they have to go through each other to win all these majors. So that's what they do. They go through each other, and then they just win majors. Sampras and Agassi competing against each other. Like, how lucky... And I was a big tennis fan as a kid. I loved watching tennis. I was terrible at tennis. I could hit the ball a million miles an hour. But I had no idea where it was going. I had zero control. No technique. None whatsoever. I was hot garbage on a tennis court. Fucking watch out. That ball come at you 150 miles an hour. I'll hit the shit out of that ball. We just don't know where it's going or when it's coming down. I mean, take your pick for who arguably is the greatest tennis player ever, and half of that list that I just named, I got to see play. Half of them. For the greatest in the history of tennis, half that list I got to see play. Whoever your top 5 is, I probably got to see 3 of them play. In real fucking life. Baseball. I mean, obviously I'm starting with Barry Bonds. Nobody, and I don't give a shit about your fucking opinion on whether or not he allegedly did steroids or whatever. I don't care. I don't fucking care. All right? I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like, let's just move on. What Barry Bonds was able to do with a bat against a ball, unbelievable. He mastered the art of batting. He mastered it. And you can say, well, maybe Ted Williams was a better hitter. Ted Williams is the only person to ever bat over 400 for an entire season. That's great. That's more than great. I mean, partly I didn't get to see Ted Williams play, okay? Not in my lifetime, but you could argue that Ted Williams was a better hitter than Barry Bonds. I don't think he was, because I think the pitching was better when Barry Bonds was playing. And what he was doing against these pitchers that are the size of fucking oak trees, throwing a baseball at 110 miles an hour, maybe not that fast, pretty fucking fast though. Some of these guys are hitting 105. That's fast. Nobody pitched to Barry Bonds. And when they did, he hit home runs. He hit for average. His slugging percentage is through the roof. His on-base percentage is through the roof. There's nothing Barry Bonds couldn't do. Nothing. He changed what pitchers had to do to a dominant hitter. You don't even pitch to him. You maybe pitch to him in the first inning, or the second inning, maybe the third inning. He would lead the league in walks every fucking year. Even if you went after him, he had such a good eye. He's going to make you throw something over the plate. At some point, you have to. If you're going after Barry Bonds, at some point, you have to throw a strike. But then what does he do? He fucking hits it. More often than not, he's hitting anything that you throw over the plate. He was an impossible person to get out. Virtually impossible. So some would say he is the greatest player ever. You can make an argument for Rickey Henderson, the way that he dominated, for what his skill set was. A very, very, very underrated hitter. I mean, insanely underrated. He's always on base. And then when he's on base, he's stealing bases. When you're the all-time leader in anything professional baseball related, one, it shows your staying power. So it shows how committed he is to his body, to stay healthy, to play for, I believe, what did he play for, 24 years of professional baseball? All-time leader in bases stolen? Are you shitting me? He could hit for average. He could hit for power. He was great on defense. Nolan Ryan? Some people say he's the greatest pitcher ever. I got to see him. He pitched when I was alive. And I put Mariano Rivera on here. I wouldn't say he's the greatest baseball player ever, but has there ever been anyone who has dominated as much as Rivera? I don't know. Hockey. I can only think of two, honestly. And I think a lot of people are surprised I even thought of two. Because really, I think there's only one answer. Wayne Gretzky. I mean, come on. And I put Mario Lemieux on here. Because, maybe you could make the argument. Maybe. But I'm not making that argument. It's fucking Wayne Gretzky. And I got to see him in my lifetime. The greatest hockey player ever. Ever. In the history of hockey. Wayne Gretzky played while I was alive. I got to watch him play games. Like, how fucking cool is that? All these people that I have listed are in their own respective greatest of all time conversations. And I got to witness that. I got to see these people perform at the top of their profession. And when I look at MotoGP, you could make the argument that from a talent standpoint, and when he was on, he was unfucking beatable. And he is arguably the most talented rider that anyone has ever seen, Casey Stoner. Now, if we throw stats into the equation, all right, like he doesn't have as many wins, he doesn't have as many titles. But when people think about who is one of the greatest racers ever, you're talking Casey Stoner at some point. You have to. Just like you have to talk Valentino Rossi, everything that he accomplished, not just in the two-stroke era, but also in the four-stroke era, and dominating on two different brands. Dominating on the Honda, And then thought, you know what? Nobody respects me. Everyone thinks it's just the bike. I'm going to go to Yamaha that hasn't won shit. We got a brand new M1 that's completely different than anything that they had developed before. I'm going to go win on that now. Oh, and he did. Like Rossi, except for Ducati, Rossi won everywhere he went. Okay? He's got a lot of world titles. He's got a lot of race wins. When we talk about greatest of all times, Valentino Rossi is at or near the top of everyone's discussion. The only other person that is in that conversation right now, Marc Marquez. I think Marc Marquez is as talented, if not more so, than Casey Stoner. I think he's faster than Casey Stoner. I think he's on some level crazier than Casey Stoner. So I would put him above Casey Stoner. And when I compare him to Rossi, I think it's too soon to tell because it's not fair to compare someone who is still racing to who is arguably the all-time GOAT and who's finished. However, what I can compare is that these two raced each other for a very long time. And they went head-to-head and they battled. And even though Marquez was much younger, he was not intimidated. And he took the fight to Rossi and he won often. So I'm not going to say that he is the greatest because I want to see how his career fully plays out. But the fact that we got to watch Stoner and Rossi battle and Rossi and Marquez battle, the fact that we get to see that of all the people who have ever raced a motorcycle, when we ask who's the greatest ever, we start with people that we all got to watch race in person. It's nobody from 60 or 70 years ago. Like fucking Rossi just retired like 3 years ago. He raced for, 20 years? He raced forever. We got to see that. And people inevitably throw Marquez's name into the hat now. I would argue he's in his prime. He still has another 5, 6, 7 years of absolutely dominating anyone who grids up with him. Now, there's a lot of changes that are coming, all right? A lot of things are going to change. Obviously, the bikes are going to be completely different in another, this year and next year, and then in 27 or whatever. They're scaling back a lot of the technology that hasn't been making the racing maybe the most competitive. I don't know. The fucking racing is cool, all right? It's cool racing. It's just a trip what these guys are doing on these absolute land missiles that can go upwards of 225 miles an hour. Do you have any idea how fast that is? The fastest I've ever gone on a motorcycle was at Miller Motorsports Park, and I was racing an R1, and I had that bitch up to 192 miles an hour, and I was smiling. There was also a probably a little bit of poop in my underwear at that point. That's pretty fucking fast. Things are moving by you pretty damn fast. I could not imagine going like another 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour faster than that. I mean, at what point do you just pull a Back to the Future and fucking time warp it? That's insane. That is insane. Never mind if you crash. There's nothing except a thin piece of leather between you and the fucking racetrack. It's insane. But it's pretty fucking cool. I will say that. It is pretty fucking cool to watch. And we get to see the greatest guys to ever do it right now. For that reason alone, how on earth, we're circling back, how on earth can you just be angry because someone's dominating? Just kick back, put your fucking feet up, and enjoy it. Because you never know if you're going to see it again. Now, will there be another Marc Marquez? I don't know. Maybe. Just like there was, never going to be a Schwantz. Someone always picks up the reins. Rossi came along. And he started dominating. People, there'll never be another Rossi. No one will ever dominate the way Marc Marquez is now dominating the way that Rossi did. Marc Marquez makes the best motorcycle racers on earth look silly. He makes them look average. But here's the thing. Everyone that's out there on that grid is so fucking far from average, it's laughable. They are the cream of the crop. They are the best of the best. These are the Top Gun of motors. This is the Top Gun. These are the Maverick, and the Iceman, and the Goose, and the Merlins. That's who these guys are of the motorcycle racing world. They are the best of the best of the best. They are the Men in Black of motorcycle racing. And Marc Marquez makes these dudes look silly. He's that much better than all the rest of them. So will there be another Marc Marquez? I don't know. I'm not going to say there won't be. I mean, there's some fucking kid out there somewhere who's getting motivated by watching Marc Marquez. I'm going to beat Marc Marquez. I'm going to fucking beat Marc Marquez someday. He's out there training right now. He's not doing some fucking podcast. He's not playing video games. He's doing push-ups and crunches, and he's riding his little pit bike in the fucking backyard, driving his parents crazy. They're going fucking nuts. They're like, shut the fucking bike off. Tommy, turn the bike off. I mean, the kid's probably going to come from Spain, so his name's not going to be Tommy. You got to do your homework. And Tommy's going to be like, I'm doing my homework, Mom. I'm out here practicing so I can beat Marc Marquez. I want to be the best. Or something like that. I don't know. Somewhere out there, some kid is going to become obsessed with beating Marc Marquez, and maybe it'll work out. Or maybe he'll fucking break his leg and he'll never ride again. I don't know what the fuck. Racing is crazy. Racing is a crazy sport. It doesn't matter what you're racing. It's a crazy sport. But let's just enjoy the greatness that we have in front of us. That is Marc Marquez. If he wins by a second, if he wins by 5 seconds, who cares? What Marc Marquez is doing right now is unbelievable. to make everyone else on the grid look pedestrian, only someone who is gifted, only the chosen one, someone who is special, someone who is unique. Like, we get to witness this in real time. The next race, next weekend, they're going to be in Austin. I have no idea why I'm not going down there to watch that. Marc Marquez is more than likely going to win that race. That, of all the tracks that are on the schedule, COTA, Circuit of the Americas, COTA is like one of maybe a handful where he just doesn't lose. He doesn't fucking lose. So I don't like who's gonna beat him. Like I can't see anybody beating him next weekend. His brother has a shot. Right now, he's really the only one taking the fight to him. But Marc Marquez is just so much faster. It's insane. So just enjoy it. Just kick back and enjoy it. Because you never know, one, how long it's going to last, because racing is unpredictable and shit happens. And two, whether or not it's going to happen again. So don't be so angry. MotoGP Twitter, just don't be so angry. Just smile. Pour yourself a glass of Prosecco. Yeah, I'm talking to the Italian fans. Just pour some Prosecco. Shelf your hatred of Marc Marquez. I have always been a huge Rossi fan too, but I can appreciate greatness when I see it. And how can you hate really any of these guys out here? I mean, they're all like, they seem like cool dudes. A bunch of characters out there. Imagine hating someone you don't even know. That isn't like a fucking kid rapist. You can hate them. You cannot know a kid rapist and hate them. All right? But like motorcycle racers that you don't even know? Because like maybe they're on like a Yamaha and you're like, fuck Yamaha. Fucking Ducati only. Forever. Bleh. So like you hate someone? Okay. Like, it even sounds silly when I say it out loud. It literally sounds ridiculous. I want to give a huge shout out. And I've said this now multiple times on the podcast. MotoGP is just better when Honda is strong. And right now, Honda is a getting stronger. Hell yeah, Honda. You guys, okay, Honda, look, did they win? No, they did not win. However, they had three, count them, 1, 2, 3 bikes finish in the top fucking 10. With Zarco finishing 6th, and he was only 7 seconds back of Marquez. Are you shitting me? Joan Mir finished 9th, 15 seconds back. Luca Marini rounds out the top 10, 16 seconds back. Apparently, one of the big issues with the Honda is it does not start very well. Hopefully Honda fixes that, because the bike, whatever they've done in the offseason, they're, I think, currently 2nd in the Constructors' Championship. Look, Honda, they're going to keep developing. They're going to be back. I firmly believe it. Yamaha, I think Honda has now jumped. I think they leapfrogged Yamaha. and KTM. I think they're arguably the second best bike on the grid right now. Yeah, I said it. Well, okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to hold off on that because Aprilia is still probably a better bike, but one, Bez needs to quit crashing, and two, we need to get the fucking defending MotoGP champion back out here so we can see what that bike can really do. I don't want to say that it's the second best bike based on what, Agura has done, because right now he's the best Aprilia rider. I don't want to base it off what he's doing, and he's doing amazing, but he's not getting the maximum out of that bike. He's just not. Martin will get the maximum out of that bike. So we'll say like Ducati, Aprilia is probably the second best bike right now. I think Honda is at least third, but maybe 2B, 2 Bravo. And Zarco, he's probably the best Honda rider right now. Arguably, I think he is. He is the best Honda rider right now. I think having Aleix Espargaro as their test rider has also helped immensely. Like, Honda just said, fuck it, we're throwing money at this problem. And we're gonna right the ship. And man, Zarco rode out of his fucking mind in that race. In both races. He rode out of his mind. It was so cool to see. I'm so happy that the Japanese bikes are making progress. What the hell is going on with KTM? I think their financial issues are probably playing a little bit of a role into why their bike is just going backwards. It seems like their bike is exactly the same as it ended last season, and if that's the case, you've regressed. If you're not improving, you're regressing because everyone else is improving. Like week to week, they're improving. Or I should say event to event, they're improving. Especially with the added test dates that Honda and Yamaha have. Like, KTM, you better get your shit together. You're not only going to lose this season, you're going to lose Pedro. You don't want to lose. Don't lose Pedro. Don't let that happen. I hope they get their shit together. I really do. Because I like KTM. My dirt bike's a KTM. I'm a big KTM fan. All right. That's my show for today. Appreciate everyone who tunes in, who supports. I'm glad I decided to play this music. I was on the fence about it when I first started it. But I'm glad I did. Definitely glad I did. I should do more episodes like this. Stupid copyright, though. I gotta be careful. The older the music, the safer I am, is what I've found. That, and I just don't even post on YouTube anymore. I'm pissed off at YouTube, so I'm done with that shit. You can find the Jake Brown Podcast on Twitter at Jake Brown Pod. That's also the Instagram handle. Amazon Music has episodes, Apple, and Spotify. Again, hope everyone is doing well. Hey, it's lighter later. It's 7:40 right now, and I see some light sky still, so summer, we're getting closer, friends. We're getting closer. All right, that's it for today. I will talk with you later.